Okay, I know what you're gonna say.
Lana looks different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lana, I know. I look so different. Completely different background. Yes, I did something different with my hair. No, I know. It's been 16 episodes since I've been here.
just casually more than half the season.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Life started happening, but I'm really happy to be back to talk about Australian Survivor because, oh boy, this season has some seasoning on it. And I cannot wait to talk about this episode also. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. I just have some iced tea here today. I'm drinking it because Lana's not here and she can't yell at me. So it's the one reason I grabbed it today. But I could be drinking things out of a cup mug. This is a really weird way to hold it. But yeah. Woo! I don't have her lights. I am not Lana. If you were expecting Lana, she needed a day off. Quite honestly,
she needed a
our
day.
queen has been putting in too much work. So I caught up on the season real quick and decided to fill in for her. But yes, regardless, you could get your cup mug or any of our other beautiful merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Link is in the description below, and we do ship domestically within North America and internationally, so there are no excuses. Go ahead and get your merch. Thank you very much.
And hello, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel, and I am in black today because I'm in mourning of this whole week. What the actual hell?
This week I will talk about it very shortly. I am very upset. And clearly, if you are watching either of the video versions that we have either on YouTube or Spotify, you will know what my headline says here. I am in mourning as well. The mourning will continue. But that just is testament to how good this season is. It's just a damn good season of Australian Survivor.
It's a damn good season, but also, why do all of my favorites have to go home?
When I tell you, Jack, 3 of my 4 favorite people on this season are the first 3 members of jury. And the other one is Noonan. And I'm here to say right now, Noonan was fucking robbed. I don't care what anyone has to say. Noonan was fucking robbed. And she is my queen forever. So
she deserves so much better.
She deserved the entire world. And instead what she got was a sprained ankle and a shitty vote out. But regardless, we are here to talk about episode 18 of Australian Survivor. We've got 2 weeks left after this. Kind of wild.
Yeah, no. It feels like it's been... It feels like it needs to be longer, but...
Yes, I would love to see more episodes with this cast. I gotta be honest, because this cast is absolutely wild. As the season was going on, like mid-season, and I was slowly making my way through the season, and I was watching, and I would let Jack and David and Lana know like where I was at. And Jack compared this season to an org. And as I've gone on, I'm like, yeah, this season gives really strong org vibes.
I wouldn't even go org anymore. I went Brent Steele. Like, decisions
I would still go strong, like org, LRG vibes. Like,
yeah.
Like, the vibes are very strong in that literally it's like, what is happening on any given day? This season is pure chaos, and I absolutely love it. Can't wait to talk more about it. But before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because as Lana probably lets you know every single episode, I haven't watched because I did watch 5 episodes of Australian Survivor to make sure that I was caught up in time. But as she has probably told you every single episode, well, we are on a mission here at the Cup TV to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I have taken that mission and I have extended it to all of our channels. So we're trying to reach at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year on all of our channels. So it helps us do a lot of really fun stuff across all of our channels. It helps mobilize our channels. So we really, really appreciate it. So the subscribe button here, you could have already done it by the time I finished rambling here, but the links to all 3 of our other channels are available in the description. You can also find our audio podcast links and our Patreon, our social media, all those fun links. All those are down in the description below. So thanks for checking us out. We do a lot of other fun content here at the Cup TV, so check all that out too. But oh boy, we come back from chaos. From this barren and bounty twist. Love it. I didn't love it.
Neither did I. It felt like an extra episode of padding.
Well, yes, obviously. We get at least...
Well, yes, obviously, but like not in a fun way.
No, I like this idea on paper. I will say that. I like the idea on paper. I think what ultimately I didn't like about it is the way that they did the immunity challenge with this.
Yep.
I hate that I'm bringing this up because it's something I critique every single time they do it on US Survivor. But I honestly would have loved a challenge a la Mergatory for something like this. Like the push the giant ball, get them up the ramp, like the physical challenge ending in a puzzle. That's the kind of challenge I want to see for this kind of twist. And I loved seeing hang on a pole for as long as you can. Love the challenge. Classic Survivor challenge, as JLP told us. And I'm happy we got to see it on this season. But not for this twist.
And also randomly like saying, oh, Bounty, we already gave you a bunch of food, which is going to make you better in this challenge. After that, we're then going to just like keep you a level up to where you can relax for like the first good while of this challenge where other people have to suffer. It's like, yeah, no, who's going to win in that case? I wonder.
Like, why are we... I didn't get it.
It wasn't close.
I didn't get it personally. And of course I hated it because it ended in the elimination of my King Polly.
Yeah.
I'm really upset about that. He was the only hope I had. Because, you know, I really, and I remember preseason we talked about Polly and we were like, I don't know. He got drafted 23rd. I would like to remind the group. He got drafted 23rd.
Granted. It's because literally the only thing we got from him basically in his pre thing was like, hey, yeah, I love challenge beasts.
And I want to work with men.
And, you know, we just didn't know that it was a gay sprinkling of that. And if we knew
to be completely fair, when we drafted, I did not know he was a hot homosexual. I thought he was just hot. Had I known he was a hot homosexual, I would have drafted him, of course.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely. But yeah, at the time I didn't know he was gay. I should have figured, but you know,
we should have seen the signs. But you know, it's fine.
But no, him and Noonan together were just an absolute fucking delight. Like I just, and the way he went out, so stupid, so idiotic. I hated every moment of it. But we come back from Tribal. Miles is happy to be in the game. And you know what? I am happy Miles is still in the game. It's at the cost of Polly, which, I mean, at what cost? But...
fuck it. 3 idols used successfully. Like, at a certain point...
He's a great player. He is a phenomenal player.
But, I mean, everyone is just annoyed at Miles. Every single person on the tribe is annoyed at Miles.
Well, yes.
Well,
but like,
except AJ.
are they going to be able to get him though? Is the thing.
I mean, I think this is going to carry him at least for another vote of like, but what if he has a fourth idol? Like at this point, it's like once is a coincidence, once is sporadic, two is a coincidence, three is a pattern, four you don't mess with.
Yeah.
So I think Miles is basically going to be able to do what he wants, at least for a little bit, until they're like, well, I don't think he can have an idol at this point. Let's just knock him down. But...
yeah. Kaz is fed up with Miles and AJ. Like this whole season. And they talked about it at Tribal this episode too, and I really appreciated it. This season has felt so fluid in a way that no other Australian Survivor season has felt for me. Like, Australian Survivor has finally gotten onto the meta that US Survivor was on for a few years, where it's like, oh, we don't need to make big alliances. And for that reason, I'm really happy Jesse was eliminated when he was, because Jesse was so gung-ho, like, alliance, like, Brawn strong to the end, and I was like, baby, no, that's not the game. Like, I respect it, because on most other Australian Survivor seasons, yeah, you probably would have made it. But I love how fluid this season has been. But yeah, Kaz is wanting to go after Miles and AJ. Shocking to no one. But is she gonna get her shot? Who knows? Because these people say they want to go after people and then go with whatever plan is thrown at them, but then decide they want to, like, literally all of them. All of them are like, well, I want to go after this person. And when the group consensus is something else, they just go with it, but then go off and decide to do their own thing and then get mad when other people do the same shit. Like, what do you mean?
Everyone just wants to be in complete control, and when they're not given complete control, they don't like it. Baby, that is literally like half the season.
And that's what I love about Miss Logan. Oh, my namesake, holding it down, queen of temper tantrums. I love her so much. I love her so much. I fucking love Logan so much. Like, personality-wise, she is the next person I would want to win. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Just because I've found her so entertaining, and she has been a very good player this season. But we go to the next day, and we get some talks with Kaylin, who I love. What a sweetheart.
Yes, what the absolute best.
And
literally can't do wrong.
No. But obviously we've had the buddy system bullshit this whole season. Whatever. But Kaylin doesn't feel like he has a buddy, but potentially three.
Yeah.
He's got all the buddies. He's got AJ, he's got Miles, and he's got Kristen.
He literally just has like an entire other buddies as a buddy. Like,
yep.
I genuinely cannot understand.
Trio. Baby, that's called a trio. You have a trio.
But it's not with the both of them together. It's both of them independent. And that's the difference. And I think that's why he's in such good control. He's not a third to anyone. He's always someone's number two. And as such, people are like, oh, well, I don't want to get rid of Kaylin. I mean, he's with me. And I mean, I genuinely can't think of anyone that I've seen recently playing as strong of a social game as Kaylin is, where Kaylin is almost every single time not only knows what's happening, but basically is either on the right side of the votes or knows he's going to be on the wrong side of the vote and votes that way intentionally. I don't get it.
I do love the way that Kalen is playing, though. Like, he's putting himself in the right position to where no one is going to be upset with him. And he's carved out such a specific niche in this game because he's realized that things are so fluid. And I do like the relationship that he has going on right now. And we'll talk about it in this episode with AJ specifically. I think that's a good wagon to hitch yourself to at this point in the game, given that AJ does seem to have so much power. I think he's got enough shields in front of him that no one's really going to look at him, even though he is so physically dominant. But like you said, he's everyone's best friend. So no one's looking at him as this strategic threat, when in reality, he is doing some of the best threat management I've seen recently on Survivor. And I'm really genuinely impressed with Kalen.
And why won't they give him a better edit?
I agree.
I am scared because, like,
I'm terrified.
In all other circumstances, he gets the edit and he is like in control of this season.
Right?
Why do we have nothing? And I have a theory as to why that we'll talk about at the end. But if it's true, I am scared.
Well, Kalen and AJ are talking about wanting to get rid of Kaz. Because of
I mean, honestly, it's how much she's been, like, basically she's been on the right side of things multiple times, but also like has never been looked at as a target. I mean, to this point, she has no votes.
And because she wants to target Kate and Morgan, specifically Kate, and now AJ is working with Miles and Kate and Morgan, even though he told everyone that he's working with Miles and Kate and Morgan.
God.
Did I make my disdain for AJ noticeable enough? Yeah. Zara then decides to tell AJ that she wants Kate out because for some reason these idiots are still somehow for some reason believing that the Graduates is still an alliance that exists. I literally none of them except for Kaylin have treated the Graduates like an actual alliance. So why is anyone why? For what reason? Like, literally, for what reason? Why is anyone treating this like a real alliance? It's never been a real alliance.
They are genuinely just riding that alley boot. And that's it.
Literally.
That alliance is barely... The only reason it keeps getting brought up is because none of them were out of the game yet. Like, I will say... very successful alliance where 5 of the 9 members, all 5 members make it to final 9. Crazy. But it's not because they were in that alliance with each other. It's because
2 episodes ago, they all realized, oh, we're all still here.
Oh, do you want to vote together like one time?
Should we get the band back together? Like... to get out Paul of all people, like, for what reason? Anyway, we got a reward. We find out that the reward is a spit roast with all the fixins. It looked good.
Oh, it looked good.
It looked real good. Also, the American feast they did a few episodes ago, I laughed. I laughed out loud.
Lana and I talked about how it was like, it was very clearly like diner food, except completely underseasoned.
But also,
like, we could just tell.
Yeah, but also, chicken burgers. Not something I would have immediately expected.
They hear the word burger and think American.
Yeah. I mean, I like a chicken burger, personally.
Oh, yeah.
But we've got the classic hold the rope while you stack blocks challenge. But this time, with a twist, we're doing it in pairs, and you have to build a domino set to knock down the dominoes. Cute twist on a classic challenge.
Yes.
And that's how this season has been for me. I have to say, I've been very impressed with the challenges this season. Like, bringing in some fun new challenges that have been really, really cool. And then also, like, twisting classic challenges and, like, it's been very refreshing. And I really appreciate Australian Survivor for their, like, fresh takes on, like, this is the best example for me of refreshing a classic challenge. For some reason, we're doing this at top 9. It makes me think they really didn't plan to do the bounty and the Baron twist when they did, because we've got 9 people for this reward. So someone's sitting out, and it ends up being Logan. So we have Morgan and Kaylin, Kaz and Miles, Kristen and AJ, Kate and Zara. And everyone sucks at this. No, they're pretty good. It's really difficult when it gets to the knocking down the dominoes.
Yeah. I mean, basically everyone gets it together. It's literally just the corners of the dominoes that people can't get right.
Yeah.
But
because everyone's doing it so square on their right side. Mm-hmm. That it's missing the turn. Like, almost everyone missed the turn, the second turn. So much so that Kate and Zara end up taking too much time trying to fix their curve. And we end up with AJ and Kristen after a fumble or two or several. They end up snatching a win.
Yay. Good for them.
This both of their first individual win this season? Even though it's not an individual win because they won as a duo?
Let me check.
Because I don't think either of them has won an individual immunity.
I feel like you could be right. Let me just quickly scan through. I mean, yeah, it is their first like individual win for the both of them because
good.
I mean, the only other time they were they were dragged on the first reward and then they won with the team on the team reward.
Oh yeah, that weird basketball bullshit.
Yes. Which
the non-contact basketball when it's supposed to be a contact sport, but we can't do a contact sport anymore because we've had 2 injuries at the hands of Kaylin. I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. I don't know if that's why they've given him a shit edit as well.
Jack, it has to be. Jack, it has to be. You know, with the way they had that set up, 100% that was intended to be a contact reward.
It definitely was, and they were just like, "You can only."
Kaylin basically took out 2 people. They can't risk another injury.
They really can. Otherwise, what are they going to do? Remove their non-elimination twist? How fucking dare they?
Remove Kaylin? That's not fair.
Oh my god.
Like, that would literally be the solution. And that's not fair because he's not doing any of this with any malice.
God.
Like, have you noticed there have been no contact challenges since PD got injured? Oh god. Well, AJ and Kristen win the reward. They decide to pick Kaylin to go with, even though he's injured several people, but because he has gone on the least rewards. And they choose Logan because she was just on the Baron tribe. Cool. Fair picks, whatever. And this group really bonds over this reward. And I really didn't expect that.
I didn't either.
Like, these, the way I looked at it, these are people who have been on complete opposite corners of the game. But then when you look at it a little bit closer, it's like, okay, Logan and Kristen have both lost their buddies. So I understand them both being in a position of, free agency, kind of like doing their own thing, whatever. AJ is kind of desperate for allies in general.
Yes.
And then Kaylin's just here to have a good time.
Kaylin is there.
Most people think. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the interesting part as well is that, like, all of them, not even for, like, the same reasons, are very willing to go after Kaz. Like,
yes.
And it's almost like Kaylin looked at it and went, you know what name I could toss out here and basically have no problem and get rid of someone?
Yeah.
Huh. Let me just lob that into the air and see what happens.
And a lot of it is because Logan tells them that Kaz was the person that told her to play her idol when Polly went home. So that becomes the whole thing. They decide they want to have Kate and Morgan join them in this vote. And the idea is to split the vote between Karin and Zara. And then to basically leave Miles out of the vote. And this is where I thought they were going to lose the whole thing. Specifically, AJ leaving Miles out of the vote. Like, I thought that was a dumb move, personally.
I get it, but also AJ has been, like, desperately trying to claw Miles away from him because he basically needs to differentiate his moves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're going to see that not matter anyway, because AJ just decides what he wants to do whenever he wants to do it, and whatever can cause the most chaos is his option.
How is he still in? Like, genuinely.
I genuinely think it's because people are like, oh my god, he keeps saying plans that work.
I don't get it. If he makes the final, I might throw up, honestly.
I have a good feeling you might puke.
No, Jack.
Just on vibes, this is like he's getting an edit that absolutely.
I don't like your vibes.
My guess is the final week, no matter what, we are seeing AJ competing in some sense.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and then they decide to name this alliance. And I have to say, I think this is the weakest alliance name this season. The alliance is the Berries. Because they're drinking wine. Made from grapes. Which is not a berry.
But they also have cranberry juice, which is a berry. Which...
Okay, but half of them are drinking wine.
They needed to come up with something. Give them a little credit.
Kristen had had enough wine at this point that she decided, I guess... Anyway. We go to the immunity challenge. And it is a 3-stage situation. We're starting by barrel walking, to then roll the barrel, to then throw sandbags onto the barrel. And that's just the first section. To then throw a monkey's fist, to then walk across a wobbly beam, to then go to the third part where you just get over a ramp. That's all. There's nothing important about the ramp. You just get over the ramp. Sure. To then solve a Australian Survivor logo puzzle. Now, I thought this was one of those where it, like, you got all 5 and then you move to the next section.
That's what I thought too.
But no, we're just
going.
We're just going. And by we, I mean Kaylin is just going. Yeah, he's just going. He's just going.
He literally just sprints through this challenge. Like, it's like, oh, everyone is pretty evenly paced. Oh.
And then there's Kaylin.
Kaylin has just landed his first beanbag, and his second, and his third, and he's hooked the monkey's fist, and he's across, and he's solving the puzzle, and no one sees him for 20 minutes.
Literally, my favorite part of this entire episode is it cuts from, like, AJ's, I don't remember the exact sequence, but it's like AJ's struggling with the monkey's fist, and then you get a shot of Kaylin at the puzzle, and then it's like Logan's throwing a beanbag, and then it's like Morgan struggling with the monkey's fist, and then Zara's just at the start of the damn barrel roll. And I'm like, oh no, Zara,
yeah, it was never gonna work.
No, Zara was never gonna win this challenge. No. But can we talk about Kaylin grabbing JLP and going, don't tell them I'm doing well at this puzzle. Don't tell them I'm progressing in the puzzle.
And yeah, just to be clear, like, as said by Miles and Karin on Twitter, they were there for, Kaylin was solving the puzzle for like 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
He was sandbagging hard.
Yeah. I live, bitch. I live.
I could not imagine what would happen if Kaylin just completes the puzzle and everyone else is like not even on, like half of them are still doing the barrels.
Literally. Like, okay.
So good.
All right. I love it.
So good. And guess who wins?
Morgan. No, I'm kidding. It's Kaylin.
Morgan comes from behind and a nope. No. Kaylin could have ended it like 15 minutes before he did.
And then he literally forgets a piece in the bag. That's my favorite part of this whole sequence. Is like there is literally a piece missing and it's still the bag.
And of course, it is a literal piece that is just all black. It literally could not have mattered less that it was in the bag.
It's a corner piece. It's a corner piece. So, sure. Sure. So, we go back to camp. Karin is still in the, she's still under the impression that the graduates are voting together to take out Kate. But instead, the berries are fortifying their plan to split between Kate, Karin, and Zara. Kristen does talk about potentially voting out Zara first. It's very quickly shot down.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miles comes into play. And he's like, I don't know if you have a thing, but I had a thing in mind. So I don't know if you had a thing, but I was going to try a thing. But if you have a thing, I'll just let your thing go. And you can do your thing all you want. But if you don't have a thing, I'm just going to go ahead and do my own thing.
Why not? Honestly, why not? I mean...
And his thing is voting out Zara. Of course it is, Miles. Of course it is.
Everyone is looking at the same targets, but they won't talk about it.
Why?
Uh,
It's literally like we're circling the drain. Like we're circling the drain on the same targets, and then somehow a different target gets taken out every time. It's like we've been circling the drain on Logan and Zara and AJ and Miles for weeks at this point, and yet somehow someone else goes home every week. It's like, for what reason?
it's so easy to, because it's like, yeah, so I mean, everyone's gonna have the same plan anyway. We're all just gonna vote Kate. Actually, never mind. We're all voting Zara. No, actually, never mind. We're all voting Morgan.
Voting. No, we're all voting Karen. No, just kidding. We're all. I want to vote AJ. What happened to Logan wanting to vote AJ?
It doesn't matter. AJ said no, and that's how it went. I will give this season credit though. Basically having more votes in the merge that have been 3 people getting votes versus 2. It's iconic. It is also hilarious.
It's frustrating, honestly. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I like
it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so Miles goes ahead with his thing. He tells his thing to Logan. Logan then tells AJ and Kaylin, and I love this, because AJ and Kaylin are still just under the impression that everything is fine. And they're like, everything's good, everything's cool, split. And Logan's like, problem.
Issue.
Miles is voting Zara. Oh, shit.
AJ just gets a look of like, of course he is.
Because of course he is, obviously. So the Berries decide they want Kristen to switch her vote to Karen. So they're, instead of splitting 3-3-3, they're going to split 4-3-2. Now, what they don't realize
is that Kristen likes that.
Is that Miss Kristen doesn't like that, because her number one somehow is Karen. Were we aware of this? No.
I don't know. Like, genuinely.
No, because we haven't seen Kristen. Unless it's involved her idol that Miles stole a few episodes ago, it has not involved her. I'm pretty sure there was an entire episode this week where Kristen was not shown.
God.
Like, I love Australian Survivor, but the one thing that pisses me off to no end is the fact that people are in final 8 with no edit. Like, God. So yeah, Miss Kristen does not like that. So she tells Karen to vote for Zara last minute. And tells her about the vote split. Tells her that it's AJ's plan.
And this pisses off Kaz.
Unreasonably, Kaz is pissed. Also, Miles checks in with AJ last minute. He's like, yeah, so I think our plans are the same. And AJ still won't tell him the plan. I'm like, for what reason? You could literally just say, oh yeah, no, the plan is we're going to split on Karen, Zara, and Kate, and in the revote, we're going to vote out Zara. And then not vote out Zara and vote out Karen instead. That's all you needed to do for that man to be complacent.
But that would break his trust. But that would break his very,
No, it
very
wouldn't.
fickle trust.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, because then you could just be like, oh my god, it was such a spur of the moment thing. Because then Karin probably would have said something at Tribal for him to justify being pissed off and switching last minute.
It just doesn't. AJ literally just randomly, he even like tells Miles to his face, like, your plan is dead. Shut up. Still vote Zara, it doesn't matter. Your plan is dead.
AJ's a fucking idiot. As a character on the show, he's probably a lovely person. Oh, we've had this the whole time. I forgot. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm not used to hosting this one, so it's fine. Sorry, guys. But what better time to bring this up than Tribal, where everything goes ape shit. Because Karin immediately is like, yeah, so Morgan and Kate, AJ's using you as shields. And she immediately pulls Zara, Kristen, Kaylin, and Logan for a complete sidebar chat that everyone can hear. She's not making anything not listenable. She tells Zara that they're the split vote. And proposes to the five of them to play Russian roulette and put their votes on Miles.
Why?
This is where Kaz lost me. Why are we going after Miles? Why are we not going after AJ?
My guess as to why she didn't say AJ is because she might have known that Kaylin and possibly Logan were kind of close to AJ. And we're like, if I pitch AJ, it's going to immediately burn. I need to pitch someone who they all might agree on. And they all kind of agreed on Miles before.
I guess.
But yeah, no, that was never going to work.
No, and then AJ goes over to Kate and Morgan to be like, no, we're good. And then Miles just has a chat with JLP. And I'm like, okay, this works.
Sure.
So then, as if this tribal couldn't get crazier, AJ's trying to figure out who spilled the beans to Karin. And Kristen just admits to doing it. And is like, I would have rather seen Zara go home than Karin.
But that's no longer an option because Karin did this.
And then sure. AJ is just like, oh no, it's fine because it's Kristen. What? Huh?
It doesn't make any sense. We're gonna try and find logic in it, and we're actually going to pull a muscle.
I don't know that I want to. Like,
oh
God. And then, as if things couldn't get fucking crazier, we go to vote. And I want to remind you, Jack, that mere seconds prior, Karin was like, well, I wanted to do this whole thing publicly because I didn't want to vote out my ride or die. Proceeds to vote for Zara, saying, well, let's see what happens.
I think in this moment, Karin knew, like, yeah, no, it's me or Zara. I don't have a choice here. Unfortunately, Zara didn't vote Karin. So Karin does look like a massive ass. But that doesn't allow people to essentially just call her slurs online, which...
Yeah, can we not?
We don't
There's
need
no
to do
reason to. There's no reason to. Like, there's no reason to. Y'all don't need to do that.
We don't need to do that. And if you do, Logan has proven that she will come after you and make your life hell. So, like, if you want that...
And this Logan will also make your life hell. So you will have a duo of horrible Logans coming after you. I don't think you want that.
Probably don't.
No.
No.
No, you don't. I can tell you that right now. What I didn't want either was Karin getting...
Yeah.
No.
No.
Jack, I have to do this and I don't want to.
You don't have to. We can just put, like...
No, I have. No, I didn't. No.
I understand, but fuck.
I know.
She didn't do herself any favors, but, like, Jampa, you can
She
just...
didn't do herself any favors, but man, did she go out in a kind of iconic way.
I mean, that's what I always love, is that Karin is like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go out doing the move that's best for me, even if it was absolutely not the best move, because if she just said nothing, she lives and Zara goes home. But I respect why she did it. She was like, I'm not voting out. I don't want to get rid of my number one if I don't have to. I'm going to try something.
I respect that for sure. I respect that she, exhausted all of the options that she could. And at the end of the day, she did everything she could. It just didn't work out for her. But she played a hell of a game.
She played a really, really good game. And I mean, I think she is a hard lock to come back.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like, after that, we saw her get fired up and, like, fight to the bitter end. The producers were probably just, like, they had their popcorn bags on the side, just like, thank you. Holy God. Yeah.
I mean, they touted up this tribal a lot online. So, yes. It was very good. Love you, Kaz. If you want to come back, and I know you're a fan, I hope to see you again soon, for sure. But that does mean, Jack, you took another hit.
Yeah, I did. I'm not liking my chances anymore. I'm gonna be honest. The other two haven't gotten that great. I mean, Kate has gotten an edit, Logan has gotten an edit, but, like, compared to everyone else, I don't know anymore.
I mean, I've been holding on with a Zara and a Dream for a little bit.
And, I mean, even Lana and I talked about it yesterday. We can definitely see Zara pulling it out.
100%. Yeah.
But, I mean, this episode kind of went from, like, oh, I could probably see Miles or AJ going next to, oh, I can see one of Miles or AJ in the final two.
Right. Like, I could definitely see it at this point. But I am very intrigued to see what happens next. This trailer for next week sounds absolutely wild, because it sounds like we're drawing rocks next week.
And specifically for Australian Survivor,
first.
That has never happened before.
Yep.
Which
in 11
oh
seasons,
my God.
Rocks. Yeah, or in 10 seasons, sorry. I mean, it feels correct for the 10th season for them to go to Rocks. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I can't wait to see how this turns out. But that is that for what was a freaking wild episode of Australian Survivor, Brains versus Brawn. I feel like when they redo the themes, they're usually better seasons because I liked Champs versus Contenders 2 better.
Yeah. Which, I mean, will make Titans versus Rebels coming back very interesting because I don't know how they're going to make that better. That was just like a textbook amazing season. So
I would like to see a new theme for them. I will say I would like to see something new. But regardless,
well, we
great
are getting
season.
A new theme kind of next.
Well, that's a completely new entry in the book.
Yeah,
but you know that's a new franchise.
That is a new franchise.
But thank you for joining us for this recap for Australian Survivor Brains versus Brawn. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. We want to hear what you think of this crazy week. Are you just as sad as we are about Kaz and this entire week of horrible eliminations, quite honestly? Did you love the reward? Are you a fan of the berries? All the things. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to check out the description where you can find all of our audio podcast links, as well as our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup, mug. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So cheers.